I'm Hannah, 27F, and for as long as I can remember, my parents were convinced I'd never survive without them. They were so sure I'd come crawling back the second I stepped out on my own. I made it my mission to prove them wrong. Growing up, it was clear my older brother, 30M, was the golden child. He could do no wrong. He got new clothes, new gadgets, expensive hobbies, and unlimited support. Meanwhile, I was the scapegoat. If something broke in the house, I was blamed. If money was tight, it was somehow my fault. If I wanted anything for myself, I was selfish and ungrateful. My parents had complete control over everything in my life. They made sure I didn't learn basic life skills, like how to budget, how to cook, or even how to apply for a job. Anytime I asked about getting a part-time job in high school, the answer was always the same: focus on your studies. You don't need to worry about money. But when my brother wanted extra cash for a concert or a trip with his friends, suddenly money wasn't a problem. I had dreams of going into graphic design. I loved art and spent hours teaching myself different design programs, watching online tutorials, and sketching ideas in secret. When I brought it up to my parents, they shut it down immediately. That's not a real job. You'll never make money doing that. You need to do something practical. Meanwhile, my brother was allowed to drift through life, changing his mind about his major 3 times before finally landing on business administration, which my parents happily funded. The final straw came during my senior year of high school. I had spent months researching financial aid and scholarships, knowing my parents wouldn't help me. They promised they'd handle my FAFSA application. After all, they knew how things worked better than I did. Except they forgot. By the time I realized, deadlines had passed and I was left scrambling. When I confronted them, they acted like it wasn't a big deal. You don't need to go to college right away. Just take a gap year and stay home. We'll figure something out. I knew then that if I didn't leave, I never would. What they didn't know was that I had been secretly working odd jobs, babysitting, tutoring, anything I could find, and stashing the money in a hidden account. The day I turned 18, I packed what I could carry, walked out, and never looked back. They didn't try to stop me. In fact, they laughed. You'll be back in a month. You have no idea how hard life is. They were right about one thing: life was hard. The first few years were brutal. I worked multiple jobs just to afford a tiny apartment with roommates. I took community college classes at night, using every free moment to build a design portfolio. There were nights I went to bed hungry, times when I barely scraped together rent, moments where I questioned if I could really do this. But I never called them. Not once. They, on the other hand, made it very clear they were keeping tabs on me. At family gatherings, which I wasn't invited to but heard about through mutual contacts, they'd mock me. She's probably working some dead-end job. She'll come running back any day now. What they didn't know was that I was clawing my way up. By 24, I landed my first real design job. By 26, I was making more than enough to live comfortably. And by 27, I had a stable remote UX/UI job, my own apartment, and zero contact with my parents. That was when they suddenly had a change of heart. It started with small messages: "Hey sweetie, how have you been? We miss you." Then came the invitations to visit, the forced nostalgia, the family group chat they suddenly decided to add me to. But I wasn't stupid. I knew this wasn't about me. It was about my brother. Turns out, Golden Boy had racked up a ridiculous amount of debt: credit cards, personal loans, business ventures that flopped. He was drowning. And worse, he had taken out loans using my parents' house as collateral. Now, they were panicking. The moment I didn't immediately offer to help, the mask slipped. The warm messages turned into, "After everything we've done for you, you're just going to abandon us?" I shut that down fast.